Hey guys, Luke from Kotaku.com here, and welcome back to City Skylines. Or welcome back to Corpstown in particular, my beautiful, successful, shiny city that I built for my review and expansion coverage, which, I'm now a little bit sick of. So, let's burn it to the ground. This is Natural Disasters. This is a new expansion for the game that introduces a whole suite of natural disasters that you can introduce into your city, ranging from these massive meteor strikes that are hitting now to things that are a little bit more pedestrian and manageable. But I thought I'd start things off with the sort of sexier side of things. You can see these meteors are absolutely cataclysmic. When they hit, they not only cause these huge fires that you see ringing every impact crater, but they cause these massive craters themselves, which wipe out whole blocks of your city and sever roads and highway connections and power and pipelines and stuff. So, yeah, they are really really bad. They can happen naturally. You can toggle a setting that makes these disasters happen naturally, or you can do what I've done here and actually trigger them manually by just clicking on the map and sort of saying, throw a meteor here. So you won't normally get that many meteors hitting at once. I just sort of wanted to put on a show, so I rained some hell down. This is a lightning storm or an electrical storm. I can't remember what they exactly call it. They introduced weather into the game in a previous expansion, but this is a bit more nasty. This is a similar rain effect, but as you can see, the idea with the lightning being that, if I just zoom in a bit closer, every time that the lightning strikes, there's a risk of whatever it hits starts a small fire. So, yeah, as awful as the meteors were, this is something that's sort of on the opposite end of things. This is an earthquake. Shakes the camera, obviously. Pardon the previous meteor strike in the top corner. In addition to shaking the screen, you do get some damage. There's a ground zero there where I'm losing buildings and streets, but it's also doing something cool where it's actually changing the terrain where the earthquake struck. So it's actually sort of breaking at the fault line, which is a neat little, I guess, visual signature for an earthquake to leave. They go for a while too. This is a tsunami. Sadly, Corpstown wasn't really well designed for a tsunami because the terrain all kind of sloped down towards the coastline, so I couldn't really get any massive floods. But you can still see the effects of them, and there's some really cool effects with the tsunami because, as you can see, just as the water floods here and it hits these trucks, it detects each truck as an individual object and starts, as the tsunami recedes, it starts washing them back out to sea, which is a cool effect. It's a bit a bit tragic. Rest in peace, heroic truck drivers. But that was a cool thing to see. This is a forest fire. A lot of the effects, like the meteor strikes and lightning and things, sort of start fires, obviously. But this gives you the option of picking a forested area of the map and just starting a huge fire that sort of burns outwards in a ring from there. Last one I'm showing here, similar to an earthquake, but it's a sinkhole, so it's a lot more focused. Oh, yeah. Again, like I said, some of these effects are more powerful than others. Obviously, the sinkholes are a much cuter little small scale effect similar to earthquake. Now, the disaster stuff's cool just for mucking around with and playing with stuff, but City Skylines obviously takes it a bit more seriously than just wrecking shit. So they've brought in this whole suite of buildings and management tools to actually cope with the disasters. So there's a whole new range of buildings here in the disaster response section, ranging from this sort of massive disaster response building that handles crews that go out and salvage people out of the wreckage of buildings and stuff, to shelters where people can go and hide and take shelter from things like the meteor strikes and that, radio transmitters, because you send out emergency broadcasts, and so there's a whole system built in now of evacuating people and warning them that something's coming. So while you may suffer property damage, you can still make sure that your people get away, and there's a lot to take care of. As I say in the post, there's sometimes a bit too much. It feels like this is almost too much to deal with on a city level when you've got so many other buildings you need to worry about and systems you need to be managing to also have to be dealing with this. But it's still really cool to mess around with. And so yeah, that is a very brief rundown of some of the cool shit in Natural Disasters, the new expansion. It's out now. It came out this week. I think it came out a couple of days ago. So anyone playing City Skylines can grab it now and check it out. Obviously, this is a cool game to start with, and this is a very fun little expansion to mess with. Whether you like management or just blowing stuff up.